Edward Newgate, more commonly known as Whitebeard, was the captain of the Whitebeard Pirates and was widely known as the strongest man in the world and, after Roger's death, the man closest to One Piece. Before forming his own crew, Newgate was an orphan hailing from the island of Sphinx. During his tenure as a pirate, he was a known member of the legendary Rocks Pirates and later in life became part of the four emperors that rule over the New World, before his death in the Summit War of Marineford. In his prime, Whitebeard was a rival to Roger, and following Roger's death, was widely recognized as the strongest man in the world, a fact complemented by having the highest active bounty whilst alive, and the second highest bounty of any pirate in history. Edward Newgate was a cheerful and carefree person during his younger years, prior to commanding his own ship and becoming known as Whitebeard. Due to being an orphan who grew up in poverty, Newgate had a strong desire for a family, which he saw as the greatest treasure one could have. He was not ashamed of this wish, which was considered strange and humorous among his pirate peers. His reign on the sea, reputation, and foreboding power made him seemingly overconfident and fearless. In initial appearances, he seemed unable to see any cause for alarm on any decision he made and refused all advice given to him, such as his nurse telling him not to drink heavily or Shanks warning him of Blackbeard. However, he was much more thoughtful than he initially appeared to be. Actions that initially seemed to be the result of thoughtless, headstrong bravado actually had strong reasons behind them. His loud declaration that Fishman Island belonged to him freed the island from all pirates and slavery, and his insistence that Blackbeard be punished was merely a cover for Ace, who had set out after him against Whitebeard's wishes. Despite his fierce reputation, Whitebeard was a compassionate man, having adopted countless people of different backgrounds into his crew as his foster children, such as Squard, whose life was devastated by Roger killing his crew, or Teach, who requested to join his crew due to being homeless. Marco stated that the main reason the Whitebeard Pirates held such strong loyalty to their captain was due to Newgate's paternal-like attitude, deeply caring for them like a father. Whitebeard was very careful about choosing a person to be included in his crew, depending on their personality and nature. This cautiousness mainly stemmed from his time as a member of the Rocks Pirates, as the violent and poor relationship among the members of that crew left a negative impact on Whitebeard. For this reason, Whitebeard was fully against letting someone like Kazuki Oden join his crew, since the samurai was rebellious by nature. Still, Whitebeard showed enough open-mindedness to give Oden a chance to prove himself in a challenge and eventually allowed the Curry daimyo to be part of his crew after the latter prioritized the life of an innocent woman over the challenge itself. Whitebeard was one of the most powerful pirates in history. In his prime, he was one of the few able to take on the pirate king Roger, battling him for days to a draw. Due to his incredible strength, he was already feared as the strongest man in the world, before Roger's death and the start of Great Age of Pirates. After Roger's death, Whitebeard became one of the four emperors, the four most powerful pirates in the world and the rulers of the New World. In fact, among them, he was considered the closest man to One Piece, and the ruler of the sea who stood before the throne and the title of Pirate King. As a testament to this, Whitebeard held not only the highest bounty among his peers, but the second highest in recorded history, at over 5 billion, only behind Roger's own. Kaido, who was renowned as the world's strongest creature, put Whitebeard in the same elite class as other legendary pirates that actually possessed the strength to stand against him in battle, such as Roger, Kazuki Oden, Shanks, and their former captain. Even in his old age, he was able to effortlessly defeat Ace over 100 times, even once while he was sleeping. During the Summit War of Marineford, Newgate's health was declining at a rapid rate due to his refusal to go into battle with life support and medication. Despite this, he was able to engage in combat with Akiji, Kizaru, and Akainu on even terms. After Akainu killed Ace, Whitebeard brutally injured the admiral in retaliation, with the latter being practically helpless in response to Whitebeard's power, temporarily defeating him in a relatively short battle with a mere 2 hits, causing immense destruction all around. Besides his formidable power, Whitebeard was a brilliant leader and an incredibly skilled military strategist, a match for former Fleet Admiral Sengoku, one renowned as the resourceful general for his famed acumen on the field of battle. The Emperor's tactical prowess was demonstrated when he saw through Sengoku's deliberate leak of information regarding a change of schedule for Ace's execution, and when he foresaw the pacifista's arrival at Marineford and scattered the pirates so that they would not be routed by the cyborgs. Whitebeard ate the Gura Gura no Mi, a paramecia-type devil fruit that allowed him to cause quakes and generate powerful shockwaves. This power is considered to be the strongest devil fruit power within the paramecia class. According to Sengoku, Whitebeard had the power to destroy the world. He had the power to send incredibly powerful shockwaves through the air, creating cracks in the air itself in the process. These shockwaves possess devastating offensive might, being able to clash evenly with the Magu Magu no Mi, the devil fruit with the highest attack power out of all the devil fruits. He could use these shockwaves to quickly take down multiple enemies over a widespread area or take down a single target with terrifying effectiveness, even giants. He could also use his shockwaves defensively, as their vast raw power could easily stop incoming attacks. He could also generate strong vibrations from his body that could easily shatter ice. Whitebeard was one of the very few people in the world who could use all three types of haki. Whitebeard possessed immense mastery in the usage of Hoshiku haki. During his initial encounter with Kazuki Oden 30 years ago, their sudden clash created a notable effect similar to lightning and released a large burst. His Hoshiku haki was displayed to a far greater extent against his longtime rival, Roger, as their clashing Hoshiku haki cracked the air, creating an effect akin to lightning and generating a shock wave that blew back everything and everyone on and near the island. Most notably, Newgate was one of the few people able to infuse his attacks with Hoshiku haki, which exponentially increased his attack power, with his Naginata being shown emitting streams of lightning-like energy which caused their clash to disperse the clouds nearby. Another example was his clash with Shanks, which resulted in the heavens being split in two. Whitebeard was an immensely skilled user of Busashoku haki, which he could imbue his weapon Murakumajiri with. 2 decades ago in his prime, he was shown clashing evenly with the samurai Kazuki Oden, who was a powerful Busashoku haki user in his own right. Whitebeard could also utilize the advanced technique of projecting haki out from his blade. This was shown during his fight with Roger, where the duo's weapons met in a powerful clash without even making contact. Whitebeard was an extremely skilled user of Kenbunchaku haki. It was first shown 30 years prior after both he and the Whitebeard Pirates shipwrecked in Wano, as he could sense Oden coming from a vast distance towards them and his overall strength. He was even able to sense and counter Ace when he was still new on the ship and was attempting to kill Newgate while sleeping. Whitebeard wielded a gigantic Naginata called Murakumajiri, one of the 12 supreme grade blades. He was immensely skilled with the blade even in old age. He could use Murakumajiri to fight off countless powerful marines in Marineford, including marine admirals, and during his prime, he also clashed with Kazuki Oden, who was one of the strongest samurais of Wano.